Welcome back to Read This Next with Laura and Nicole from the Thunder Bay Public Library. This week we are still in spooky season, so we'll be
Yay!
literary horror.
Yes, literary horror. What does that mean exactly? Do you know it when you read it? I find the kind of stuff that I'm thinking of is usually more, it's usually more character driven maybe than just plot, and a lot of like tension and creeping dread is I think often an element of these more literary horrors. And also it's just authors in some cases that are considered more literary. Of course, there's crossover between all different types. I may include something on this list and you might think that's not literary at all, but that's kind of the same argument that could be made about what anyone considers to be literary. But basically, if you look for things that are, if the slasher episode was not your style, if that's not your type of read, one of these might work for you instead. Very atmospheric, many of them, lots of depth, complex writing. Something will work for you from this week.
Yeah. That being said, thank you for the introduction about the genre. We did want to point out, you might have noticed, Patience was here for, I think, 2 episodes.
2 episodes.
Yeah, portals and slashers. So with our reopening of all of our libraries in Thunder Bay, our schedules have changed a lot. So moving forward, we're actually going to be moving to a 2-week schedule so that we can still film these and have fun and be able to post the regular content that you love, but also so we can run the building.
Yes, so we can do the other parts of our job.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
A fine balance. But yes, the last month or so, we've kind of been working it out. You know, what are we going to be capable of doing? What do we have the time for? And this is the schedule we think that's going to work for us. So that's going to take us to the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll reevaluate then because things are constantly changing. So
yes,
yeah,
constantly.
That being said, I think Laura is starting us off with the first recommendation. And I will say, if you're a follower of many years as we've been doing it now, this is our second Halloween season. And I am not I'm a Halloween gal. I'm not a scary person gal. So Laura has read many of these and I have read none. So it's going to be good.
Yes, I have read many of these. So this first one, it actually turns out, when I was looking up titles for this theme, I realized that this is actually book 1 in a trilogy, which I didn't even know.
There you go.
There you go. It is very much a self-contained story. I think it's more a trilogy based on like ideas and themes rather than the actual characters or whatnot. But you can certainly just read this by itself and be very scared and creepy and then creeped out and then leave it at that, or you can keep going apparently. But so this first book, it's called I Am Behind You.
Classic.
It's by John Avid Lindquist. It's translated by Marlene Delgari. And I think that I have recommended a book by this author before. Yes, in our vampire episode.
Maybe
vampires. I'm pretty sure I've recommended Let the Right One In by this author before.
That sounds right. Yeah. Is that the one with the 2 kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also a good scary book to read. But this is the one I'm recommending today. So here's the description. Molly wakes her mother to go to the toilet. The campsite is strangely blank. The toilet block is gone. Everything else is gone too. This is a place with no sun, no God. Just 4 families remain. Each has done something to bring them here. Each denies they deserve it until they see what's coming over the horizon, moving irrevocably towards them, their worst mistake, their darkest fear, and just for one of them, their homecoming. This gripping conceptual horror takes you deep into one of the most macabre and unique imaginations writing in the genre. On family, on children, Lindquist writes in a way that tears the heart and twists the soul. I Am Behind You turns the world upside down, and disturbing, terrifying, and shattering by turns, it will suck you in.
Wow.
So
that's a good description.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, what's
Um,
coming for them?
and like you can see on the front of the book, it has like a little camper, like that you would take
RV.
camping, a little RV. Yes, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
And it's a group of four that are in like near each other in a campsite, and they wake up in the morning and just things are gone,
Oh,
and where to go from
spooky.
there. Oh, it's spooky, all right. It's very spooky.
That sounds good.
Yeah, yes. So that is one that I recommend checking out, certainly.
Okay. This next one is by Latanya McQueen. It's called When the Reckoning Comes.
Oh,
I'm going to skip the little brief one. Here we go. More than a decade ago, Mira fled her small, segregated hometown in the South to forget. With every mile she traveled, she distanced herself from her past. From her best friend, Celine, mocked by their town as the only white girl with black friends. From her old neighborhood. From the Erie Woodsman plantation, rumored to be haunted by the spirit of slaves. From the terrifying memory of a ghost she saw that terrible day when a dare gone wrong almost got Jesse, the boy she secretly loved, arrested for murder. But now Mira is back in Gibson to attend Celine's wedding at the plantation, which has been transformed into a lush vacation resort. Mira hopes to reconnect with her friends and especially Jesse to finally tell him the truth about her feelings and the events of that devastating long ago day. But for all its fancy renovations, the Woodsman remains a monument to its oppressive racist history. The bar serves antebellum drinks, entertainments include horrifying reenactments, and the service staff are nearly all black. Yet the darkest elements of the plantation's past have been carefully erased. Rumors that slaves were tortured mercilessly and that ghosts roam the lands, seeking vengeance on the descendants of those who tormented them, which includes most of the wedding guests. As the weekend unfolds, Mira, Jesse, and Celine are forced to acknowledge their history together and to save themselves from what is to come. Whoa.
right.
That sounds like it'll
Whoa.
be both deep, have lots of meaning when bad things go wrong, and
Mhm.
very well written.
Right. It sounds to me like you listen to that premise and it's like, oh, that sounds like it could be a new Jordan Peele movie.
Hmm.
So he's the filmmaker who did Get Out and Us. He's kind of leading the like black horror movement, I would say. Yeah, sounds really good. Sounds really thoughtful. Interesting. Like certainly, if you're not aware, that is a thing in the States where they'll take old plantation homes and be like, oh, now it's a nice place you can book for your wedding. Like, why would you want to? But people like that kind of strange thing because if it's never been a part of their lives, then they don't have to think about it, then they just won't.
Mm-hmm.
And like, why would this be weird for you, for us to have a celebration where people like suffered and died? Oh, well,
Yep.
it, yeah. So I think,
Understandable reasons why you shouldn't.
yes, why you shouldn't. Yeah. So I think that this book probably is going to be doing lots of interesting things.
Mm.
And it's a new one. I think it's just out this year.
Oh, interesting, because the cover
Mhm.
makes it, well, and I think that's the whole point, is it looks kind of rusticy, so
Yeah.
it but it looks good.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Okay. So this next one is another one that I've read. And there's this weird sort of strange little subgenre I've come across where it's like men, men and their families on vacation, and something strange happens to their families, and then the man has to deal with it. And that might sound like, how is that a subgenre? Well, there's two books on this list that have that trajectory.
I mean, isn't that kind of The Shining?
Kind of, yes. Isolated man and the family, they end up being kind of supporting characters, and it's in their own, and it's all about his feelings. That I may be making this not sound very exciting. It is. It's quite good. It's very creepy. It's extremely unsettling, I would
Yeah.
say. So the book is called That Time of Year. It's by, Marie Naday, translated by Jordan Stump. Herman's wife and child are nowhere to be found, and the weather in the village, perfectly agreeable just days earlier, has taken a sudden turn for the worst. Tourist season is over. It's time for the vacationing Parisians, Herman and his family included, to abandon their rural getaways and return to normal life. But where is Herman's family gone? Concerned, he sets out into the oppressive rain and cold for news of their whereabouts. The community he encounters, however, has become alien, practically unrecognizable, and his urgent inquiry, placed in the care of local officials, quickly recedes into the background, shuffled into a deck of labyrinthine bureaucracy and local custom. As time passes, Herman, wittingly and not, becomes one with a society defined by communal surveillance, strange traditions, traditions, ghostly apparitions, and a hospitality that verges on mania. A literary horror story about power and assimilation. That time of year marks this author as a contemporary master of the psychological novel.
Oh,
Nightmarish vision, otherness, privilege, and social amnesia.
I was gonna say it sounds very focused on current issues.
Yes and no. It is about, like, in terms of this divide between the people who come into this vacation town and the people who actually live there year round. But I really felt like it was more just about this displacement and um, having a sense of when you know, sometimes you just step out and into the world and things seem like a little bit off.
Mhm.
And everybody, I mean, this is the kind of experience he's having. And then he finds out, as he finds out more and more, at the beginning, he's like, this is what is happening. This is so unreasonable. And then the longer you're immersed in the environment, the more you start to be like, well, maybe that is the logical thing to do, just because we're social animals and
Yeah,
we tend to want to be part of the group, right? So yeah, it is, it's creepy. It's a fairly quick read, but like I said, very, that one I would say unsettling was the vibe.
that's neat. I like that's a cool
Yeah.
concept to play with is how little things change and you'll just start to accept them. And then you look around and you're like, boom.
Oh, where's my wife and child?
Yeah.
Wasn't I
Hmm.
looking for them at one point?
What was the inciting incident?
Yeah. What,
Oh,
yeah, exactly. So that's another one that I have read.
love it.
Um, yeah, so this next one of yours, I have not read. So
Oh,
I've given it to you.
wow. Okay. This is called The Devil in Silver by Victor Laval. Um, named one of the best books of the year by the New York Times, Washington Post, and Publishers Weekly. Okay. Pepper is a rambunctious big man, minor league troublemaker, working class hero in his own mind, and suddenly the surprised inmate of a budget strapped mental institution in Queens, New York. He's not mentally ill, but that doesn't seem to matter. He's accused of a crime he can't quite square with his memory. In the darkness of his room on the first night, he's visited by a terrifying creature with the body of an old man and the head of a bison who nearly kills him before being hustled away by the hospital staff. He gets hustled away or the
No,
bison?
the creature.
Oh, okay. It's no delusion. The other patients confirm that a hungry devil roams the hallways when the sun goes down. Pepper rallies three other inmates in a plot to fight back. Dory, a octogenarian schizophrenic, can't believe I said those two words correctly, who's been on the board for decades and knows all of its secrets. Coffee, an African immigrant with severe OCD who tries desperately to send alarms to the outside world, and Lucci, a bipolar teenage girl who acts as the group's enforcer. Love that. Battling the pill pushing staff, one another, and their own minds, they try and kill the monster that's stalking them. But can the devil die? It says The Devil in Silver brilliantly brings together the compelling themes that spark all of Victor Laval's radiant fiction: faith, race, class, madness, and our relationship with the unseen and uncanny. More than that, it's a thrillingly suspenseful work of literary horror about friendship, love, and the courage to slay our own demons.
This is the second one that's name dropped literary horror in the description.
Yeah. Be like,
Yes,
we fit.
we bet. Yeah, I was like, okay. I mean, usually it's a goat head when we're talking the
Yeah.
devil, but a bison, okay.
Bison don't look as scary.
They're big though.
They are big, but they don't
Big.
have those like square pupils. Or do they?
Yeah.
I don't
I
think they
don't
do.
know, but I saw some goats at a farm this past weekend. My child was patting it, and the goat looked at me, and I thought,
This is it.
Let's leave. Let's leave this area.
Yeah, goats are kind of creepy.
They're kind of creepy. Yeah. But yes, that author, he's done a bunch of really well-known things. This one I thought seemed to fit the best. Sort of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest vibes, which you can't really help anytime you're reading like about an institution. But I like the bit that the staff know what's going on,
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah. And that, yeah. So it's not, you're not spending the whole book wondering like, oh, is this just a delusion or whatever? Like, no, this is an actual thing.
Yeah. I also think that this one kind of plays into your they're all trapped. Like they're in one location, you're solving a mystery about what the heck is going on, and let me know when you read it.
That is a callback to our Closed Circle Mysteries episode.
Yeah, always with the callbacks.
Another one of my personal faves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Our next one is the second one in my men with lost families books for this list. It's called You Should Have Left by Daniel Kelman. It's an older book, quite a brief, again, I'd almost call it a novella. Mm-hmm. And this one, okay. It's fitting that I'm beginning a new notebook up here, new surroundings and new ideas, a new beginning, fresh air. This passage is from the first entry of a journal kept by the narrator of this spellbinding new novel. It is a record of the 7 days that he, his wife, and his 4-year-old daughter spend in a house they have rented in the mountains of Germany, a house that thwarts the expectations of the narrator's recollection and seems to defy the very laws of physics. He is eager to finish a screenplay for a sequel to the movie that launched his career, but something he cannot explain is undermining his convictions and confidence, a process he is recording in this account of the uncanny events that unfold as he tries to understand what exactly is happening around him and within him.
No hint as to what that is. Interesting.
No, certainly not. It doesn't say in that description about the family thing, but I don't think I really gave too much away. And then yes, You Should Have Left. And it's just like that time of year, right? Same thing again, right? It's a specific time of year. You shouldn't be here anymore. That was kind of the crux of the other one. And then this one here too, this, you've transgressed somehow. You've crossed a line. Now you're in trouble. Mm-hmm. You should have left.
Yeah, and you knew better.
You knew better, exactly. You knew better, both of them. So it's like, in a way, didn't you bring this on yourself? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds good too. A good list this year.
Yeah. Okay, this next one is yours.
Yeah. Okay, so this is The Good Son by Yu Jeong-jong, and the translator is Shi Young Kim. I like the cover. Pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. Early one morning, 26-year-old Yujin wakes up to a strange metallic smell and a phone call from his brother asking if everything's all right at home. He missed a call from their mother in the middle of the night. Yujin soon discovers her murdered body lying in a pool of blood at the bottom of the stairs of their stylish Seoul duplex. He can't remember much about the night before. Having suffered from seizures most of his life, Yujin often has trouble with his memory. All he has is a faint impression of his mother calling his name. But was she calling for help or begging for her life? Neither are good if he doesn't remember.
But one's worse than the other.
Yeah, definitely. Thus begins Yujin's frantic 3-day search to uncover what happened that night, and finally to learn the truth about himself and his family. A shocking and addictive psychological thriller, The Good Son explores the mysteries of mind and memory and the twisted relationship between a mother and son with incredible urgency. Sounds fast-paced.
Yes. And it's one of those ones where part of the horror is the fear of unknowing yourself, right? Like what can you trust and what can't you? So if you enjoy those thrillers with unreliable narrators, good one to pick up, certainly. Mm-hmm. Okay, next one is, I thought that Nicole maybe had picked this one up. I was wrong. So I think I'm gonna jump ahead to White Smoke, and then we can go back and you can do the other, Jane
Sure,
Lawrence.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So this next one is YA. It might be the only YA one on the list, I think, perhaps. But there was a couple YA slashers, so it evens out. So this one is a book from just this year. It's called White Smoke, and it's by Tiffany D. Jackson, who's written like a bunch of best-selling books. She's kind of like on a roll right now, certainly. I think her first one that was really big was Allegedly. And then she's had
Grown.
Grown, and then Somebody's Not Coming. It was like the name of a day of the week or something.
Like Saturday's Not Coming, something like that.
Monday's Not Coming, something. Anyway, they've all been very well received. This is her first move into horror, whereas the other ones were more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Marigold is running from ghosts. The phantoms of her old life keep haunting her, but a move with her newly blended family from their small California beach town to the embattled Midwestern city. Embattled? Why? Oh, well, embattled Midwestern city of Cedarville might be the fresh start she needs. Her mom has accepted a new job with the Sterling Foundation that comes with a free house, one that Mary now has to share with her bratty 10-year-old stepsister, Piper. The renovated picture-perfect home on Maple Street, sitting between dilapidated houses. Oh boy, I'm having real speaking issues today.
I know.
Sitting between dilapidated houses, surrounded by wary neighbors, has its ... secrets. That's only half the problem. Household items vanish, doors open on their own, lights turn off, shadows walk past rooms, voices can be heard in the walls, and there's a foul smell seeping through the vents only Mary seems to notice. Worse, yeah, Piper keeps talking about a friend who wants Mary gone. But running from ghosts is just a metaphor, right? As the house closes in, Mary learns that the danger isn't limited to Maple Street. Cedarville has its secrets too, and secrets always find their way through the cracks.
Ooh, that's what written.
So haunted house, kind of taking current different social issues, right? We've got like the blended family, and we've got some like economic stuff happening here. And then we just have a classic old spooky house.
I love that. How often do you get books that are just like the house is haunted? You don't know if it's got ghosts, but it's definitely a haunted house.
There's certainly something happening. Household. I don't know. It's like, how long would it take me to notice I was being haunted? If it was just household items vanish, I'd be like, guess I left it somewhere again.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember. Well, I was gonna say I lost something the other day. I can't remember. Gone.
Yeah. Let's see. We've never even noticed.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So then this last one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Laura thought that I had read this, but as we previously stated, I am not a spooky person, so.
I
was confused. I was into it.
Maybe you'll read this description and you're going to be like, this is the spooky book for me.
I hope so. Okay, this is The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starling. I love the cover.
Creepy cover with the like, creepy nails.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh, okay. Practical, unassuming Jane Shorenfield has done the calculations and decided that the most secure path forward is this. A husband, in a marriage of convenience, who will allow her to remain independent and occupied with meaningful work. Her first choice, the dashing but reclusive Dr. Augustine Lawrence, agrees to her proposal, but with only one condition, that she must never visit Linbridge Hall, his crumbling family manor outside of town. Yet on their wedding night, an accident strands her at his door in a pitch-black rainstorm, and she finds him changed. Gone is the bold, courageous surgeon, and in his place is a terrified, paranoid man, one who cannot tell reality from nightmare and fears Jane is an apparition come to haunt him. By morning, Augustine is himself again, but Jane knows something is deeply wrong at Linbridge Hall, and with the man she has so hastily bound her safety to. Set in a dark mirror version of post-war England, Starling crafts a new kind of gothic horror from the bones of the beloved canon. This Crimson Peak-inspired story assembles and upends every expectation set in place by Shirley Jackson and Rebecca, and will leave readers shaken, desperate to begin again as soon as they are finished. What is
Rebecca's
so?
the name of a book.
And it's inspired by Crimson Peak. I was thinking Jekyll and Hyde, but that makes okay.
Yeah, Crimson Peak.
All right.
Yeah.
That sounds
And
good. I like I think it's interesting though that he's just like you can't even come in the vicinity of the building. Like
it's very Bluebeard.
yes, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's just like I'm outside your house and he's like are you a ghost? She's like, I didn't even come in.
I don't know. Sounds interesting. Sounds also like there's so many different sort of like points of comparison, right? I also hear a little bit like Jane Eyre, right? Mr. Rochester, you're bound to this man, and who knows what other terrifying facets he may have.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
it's very hasty.
Yes, but I mean, if you're a woman alone, she's just doing the best she can.
She's just trying to do her own thing, and I can get behind that.
Doing the best she can.
Mm.
I think that's 8 stories. Okay.
Yeah.
So in addition to these ones that I've added to the list, there are so many books that we've covered before that could fit here. So I am going to list them all on the show notes. There's a ton. So if these books, they kind of seem like, oh, these are sort of my vibe, we have so many more recommendations for you.
Yeah,
so,
go back to October last year and
that's also
check
true.
out those recs.
Yes, lots of spooky ones.
I will say though, I told Laura this story, and I'm going to tell the audience this story. I was at a wedding the other weekend, and I met a lovely fan of the show. I told Laura, I was like, if we go out more often, we'll probably see more people who like actually watch our show. But anyways, shout out to Sharon. It was so nice to meet you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. But yeah, do you have anything else?
No, just saying yes. Hope you enjoy. And if you notice us out in the wild, feel free to come say hi.
Yeah. Or just be like, love the show.
Yeah, something subtle like that.
Yeah, I love your show. Peace. Yeah, I think that's everything unless you have anything else to add.
Nope, that's all my stuff. I had to enjoy your spooky season and Halloween however you like to enjoy it yourself. I will be walking a little T-Rex around the neighborhood.
Oh, are you dressing up?
No.
You could go as Laura Dern in Jurassic.
Oh, that is kind of cute. Maybe when he's older, he won't get it now.
Well, it's not for him. Yeah, I love that. Okay, I will wrap it then. Thank you everybody for watching. We will see you in 2 weeks. Make sure you watch or listen to our show on YouTube. You can or on any podcast platform. Send in your comments, whatever, to readthisnext@tbpl.ca, or is it Gmail? It's TBPL.
It's TBPL.
Yep, and you can always catch our show notes at www.offtheshelf.tbplofftheshelf.com. I am Rusty, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.